Hey there, I'm live here in the movie library and happy Friday, happy weekend, TGIF, and all that good stuff. So not quite sure who I'm going to get in here tonight because a lot of you guys are probably off doing your long weekend Friday stuff. So this is probably going to be one of those videos that hopefully gets watched afterwards. So I'm okay with that. It's probably going to make the video shorter, but so be it. Anyway, today we are looking into like another portion of the movie library tour, which I did promise we'll talk about some of the news that came out today, movie wise. Um, I actually got something, not a film, but I'll talk about it a little bit. I didn't want to bring it down. Hey, Dekatana, welcome back, dude. Where if you've been watching my videos, like, but not seeing them live, what I've been doing recently is I've been doing like tours of the movie room, and I'm going through like shelf by shelf, title by title. Um, so I'm up to the animation station over here, which I will be doing today. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming sales, about Severin and Vinegar Syndrome. If you did not see my guide to with the top 12 list, definitely check that out. So today the postman knocked on my door, and it's been like and it was for a good reason. The first one you might be really interested in, Katana, because it's all my Scream Factory and Arrow and stuff like that. So that's a good one. When for the start of the tour stuff. Now, it wasn't a movie, but I was actually pretty excited. So, as some you know, I got accepted into school, and I may be going back to I may be going back to school. So one thing that I needed to do was to get a computer. So I shopped around to see what I could find, and I found one that I liked, and I found a configuration I liked because like nowadays, you can't just say, "Oh, I want to get an Acer," or "I want to get like I want to get like or I want to get a Sony," or "I want to get like there's different configurations of like each computer. There's different chips that you got to look into, chipsets, and there's going to be like there's a different amount. So what I did is I saw and kind of like really like the Acer Alien. That's amazing. I could not afford an Alien one, but that's awesome. That's a really good Alienware is a fantastic gaming laptop, and if you're programming and gaming, like if those are two things that you do, uh, definitely that is an amazing one. Mine is not as fancy as what you just mentioned, but it's a pretty cool one. So I do like the Acer product, and I wanted something that I could use had like a decent processing, and yet like if I wanted to use it like for like some gaming, I could as well. I don't really game much on computer, but I've never had a computer that I could. So what I ended up going with is I went with the Acer Nitro 5, which is just a step, like a tiny fraction below the Predator. But I liked what the Nitro 5 had to offer. Now I went into like to get the configuration that I wanted. There was like an i5 and an i7 Intel chip, so I went with the i7. And from there, basically, I wanted to make sure the memory is expandable, and you want to start with at least two, like with 16 gigs, with expandable memory for that, and going on from there. I did choose the one that had a dual hard drive, so that you've got your SSD hard drive to run the processing power of it, to go speedy because SSD and HDD, the big difference there, basically HDD is a lot slower. It kind of chugs. There's different components. SSD is it's one. It's faster. So it's got like an SSD which is run the processing power, and it's got like a just basically 1 terabyte like SATA drive that kind of just runs for storage. So I was pretty excited about that. It's a pretty good computer, one of the better computers I got. Not Alienware level good, but still, I was actually really excited to get it. So, with that being said, I wanted to get that out of the way because I've been playing on my computer all day. I did not know if I was going to make a video tonight or not. I had to like put in like some different things, and man, I remember back in the day when you bought a computer and like if you had like Microsoft Word or something, like usually you could get that, and it wouldn't cost like. But now it's like a subscription thing. So first thing I had to do was get Microsoft Office, which here in Canada is like is $109 for the year, and that gives you like Office and Excel and all that stuff. But I don't want to bore you guys with that type of stuff. Anyway, that's you didn't come to like a movie library video to listen to me talk about computers. I know that, but for people that have been following my journey when it comes to that, I've been pretty excited. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to start at the animation station. Is what I like to call it, and that's where I have a lot of my animation stuff. Now, being just recently announced, they have the Johnny Quest, the complete uncut original series. Hey, stack is going. It's a few. The thing is, I never went in originally for computers, right? I initially went in. I've got my business degree. I'm a marketing, social media PR person. I've got my accounting and all that too, because that's part of it. But my skill set was in marketing and public relations, and that's where I worked at basically until I came here. There's different skill sets needed here, and working with hey, Elvin. I haven't seen Toronto Raptors in years, man. Hey, Devin Graham. But so I'm going in. So I'm doing some online courses now to get me ready, to go in for the computer aspect of it. So basically, right now I'm just learning some Linux, some SQL, a little bit of JavaScript, stuff like that, and some Python down the road. That's more on the programming side. But the course that I'm going in for is going to be more in dealing with putting together and disabling networks, doing security, that type of thing. Because I kind of want to get my hands dirty. If you ever watched Spawnwave, he's kind of a gaming guy. He takes apart game systems and computers and stuff like that. I'm pretty geeky like that. I like that type of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing a bit. Not game systems, but taking apart computer systems, putting them together, doing networks and stuff like that. So wish me luck, a lot of studying over the next 2 years. Anyway, let us get into the reason you guys came here today. Let's start with the animation stuff. And this is the last time you're going to see my face for a while, hopefully on here. Scream Factory title to watch tonight. You're just hanging. Depends on the type you're in the mood for. Now, if you got it and you haven't watched it recently, Urban Legend or Valentine, two fantastic releases, Scream Factory releases. If you're on your own and you really want to torture yourself, Strangers, you can watch that one. Get all paranoid. I did that once. Don't have them. Tell you what. Before I do this, let's go over to my Scream Factory section. All right. So over here is a lot of my Scream Factory stuff. So ones that I can recommend for you. If you got Hell Knight, you haven't watched it, definitely watch Hell Knight and watch all the features. Because Hell Knight has amazing features on it. Just top-notch feature-wise. If you have not watched Silent Night Deadly 2 and you haven't checked out the features on it, definitely, if you've seen Silent Night Deadly Night 2 but you haven't watched the features, that has one of their best documentaries that they put out, so you might want to check that out. As well, House on Haunted Hill, if you got that one, I strongly recommend checking that one out. That is a really fun movie, and a lot of people underrate that film. As for the regular editions, there's a lot you can check out. I always find kind of ghost stories fun, but you got to be in the right mood for something like that. Scream for Help is super cheesy. It's like a TV movie with nudity, but definitely fun. Any Slumber Party Massacre film, Bad Dreams, Visiting Hours, that type of stuff. So there's a lot of choices, man, depending on what you're really in the mood for. I could say, watch Sleepaway Camp 2, but you might be in the mood to watch Dolls, or you might be in the mood to watch a Pumpkinhead. So really, or as always, Candyman, which is a classic one as well. So always stuff to check. All right. So up here, we've got Transfers. Not a Scream Factory, but a great release. We got Masters of the Universe. It's pretty much it's a complete series plus the other series plus the best of. Then we got the complete G.I. Joe, the complete reboot. That's a Canadian one. Hell Knight is fantastic. I think you'll like that. That's Tintin. I actually have both. That's just one volume, but I got two volumes of it. That's Gem and the Holograms. Watch that over the movie any day. And that is my Powerpuff Girls. I really like that series, but I was really disappointed in the packaging there. Now, I'm not going to go through all these. You can actually watch my video about the Disney treasures. But there they are right there. But let's get into some of my favorite stuff. Some of the stuff that, this is some of my, when I'm on my own, that I watch. I'll be completely honest with you. So there's Space Ghost and Dynamite, Tom and Jerry, Spotlight Collection Volume 2, Pinky and the Brain Volume 2 and 3. I need Volume 1. The all-new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. I need to buy the Blu-ray of that with the extra episodes that are going to be on there. Scooby-Doo and Dynamite. You're seeing like something, kind of a trend here. We got Yogi Bear, the complete series, Jabberjaw, the complete series, SWAT Cats, the Radical Squadron. That was a hard find, actually. The Halloween Tree. That's a really good one. Wacky Races, Dastardly and Muttley, and the Amazing Flying Machines. The Perils of Penelope Pit Stop, Pebbles and Bam Bam Show, Thundar the Barbarian, Captain Caveman, and the Teen Angels. Hey, Red. The complete Flintstones collection. Seasons 1 to 6. Top Cat, Hong Kong Phooey, Huckleberry Hound Show. One of the first Hanna-Barbera shows I ever watched was Huckleberry Hound Show, by the way, guys. Johnny Quest. They recently announced that's getting an upgrade to Blu-ray. Uncut and on Blu-ray from Warner Archives. That's the Spider-Man 67 collection. I'm actually very proud of this. That's my Platinum collection from Looney Tunes, Volumes 1, 2, and 3. The Popeye Volumes 1, 2, and 3, I eventually will upgrade to the Blu-rays for those. The Tom and Jerry Golden Collection Volume 1, Volume 2 never came out. The Tex Avery Droopy, the complete theatrical collection. All 4 Blu-rays of Betty Boop, put out by Olive Films. The complete X-Men series. Conan, The Adventure. I've only got the first season of that one. Hell Knight is fantastic. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle cartoon. As you can see, I've got, out of order right now. It's going to drive me, my OCD crazy, so I got to fix that afterwards. Dragon Ball Z, the complete series. I only have Series 4 of Dragon Ball, though. But I do have the complete Dragon Ball DT. And what you see there next is all the Super Friends sets. Every one of them. They took a while. Next up is the DC Filmation Superheroes. Those were the Filmation ones that were done like way before DC Super Friends. That's the New Adventures of Superman Volume 2 and 3. Ruby Spears Superman, The New Adventures of Batman, The Adventures of Batman, Plastic Man, Adventures of Aquaman, Fantastic Four, Iron Man. Iron Man's basically Force Works. This here is the complete like Saturday morning collection they put out. These are really good. If you have not seen these Saturday morning collections, they're super epic. So this, for instance, is like the 60s Volume 2, and it's like you get this that has all types of cartoons on there, like comedy ones, action adventure ones, and they got it done for the 60s. I gotta get set here, the 70s and the 80s. Though the 80s only got one volume, which is insane because the 80s had a ton of great cartoons. There is the Batman. I got to finish that series. That's the complete Spawn. And that is the Steelbook, by the way. Transformers the movie. And then G.I. Joe the movie. You want to see more anime? I got the complete series of Ranma Half, which I actually really like. I don't have all of Sailor Moon yet. I'm actually working on that. Though Cowboy Bebop was a gift for my better half from my oldest. She got her that because Cowboy Bebop is my better half's favorite. It's her favorite anime. Though the last episode she said does not count. It doesn't exist. Looney Tunes Superstar Triple Pack, which is actually pretty cool. The first 3 volumes. Hey, Scudder. Hey, so you're making it, yeah. The first 3 volumes of DuckTales. First 2 for Goof Troop. That's DuckTales the movie after that, and Doug's first movie. I have the first 2 volumes for Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Tailspin, 2 volumes of that. 2 volumes of Darkwing Duck. Let's Get Dangerous, which I guess is slightly marred by the news about the voice of Darkwing Duck. Gargoyles, I love that series, by the way. I need to get the rest of that one. I need Season 2, Volume 2. Thundercats, I'm missing one of those. And there is He-Man She-Ra Christmas Special. I'm super stoked that I got that, by the way. And Volumes 1 and 2 of She-Ra. that came out from, oh God, the company that put that were really, really good. So down here, I've got all 6 volumes of Looney Tunes Golden Collection. Probably, if you don't have it, there's some of the best cartoons put out, and their collections are amazing. The features are incredible. They seriously belong in everyone's collection. Next up is Volume 2 of Rocket Robin Hood, a show I used to watch when I was a kid. Captain N, the Game Master. Batfink, the complete series. Oh, Vinny, those Looney Tunes box sets are really good. No, there's the Platinum editions. You know, the 3 volumes came out on the Platinum ones. I got those up there as well. But I do recommend, even if you get the Platinum ones, get yourself the Gold collection because they are just so well done. So there is Beetlejuice, the complete series, and Cops. That was a cool little find, actually. Invader Zim, because we're big Invader Zim fans, and we know the Doom song. This is the Real Ghostbusters, all 10 volumes that are out now. Woody Woodpecker and Friends, the classic cartoon collection. I think this is I'm not sure if this is volume 1 or 2. The 4K edition of 2001 is really, really good. I would strongly recommend it. If you're a fan of 2001, it is an awesome edition and it looks magnificent. Casper's Trick or Treat, that's one I got at Dollarama actually. Then there's Dexter's Laboratory, Season 1. I do actually have the animated Beatles movie. You're talking about the Yellow Submarine, right? I do have that. It's in my, I think we'll see it. It's over here farther, actually. We'll get to it. There's Magicano. Next up is El Cazadora de la Bruja. It's anime. Then there's some of those big box Naruto sets, followed by some excellent Rocky and Bullwinkle. Now, let's get down a little bit further here. All right. So that is the Justice League, The New Frontier. That's the anime Metropolis. Next up is Thumbelina. Then there's the Street Fighter 2, like kind of a one. Brahma High, the complete series. Here Comes the Grump. That's an out of print one. That's a hard one to find, actually. If you can get your hands on that, that's a really kind of cool little De Peta Freeling one that's kind of little known. Next up is Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. The Smurfs. And at the time, that's the only Mazinger we could get. Then there's Archie's Funhouse, Baby Looney Tunes, Dilbert, Pippi Longstocking, Christmas classic favorites. Somebody asked me once if I had any of these. So there's 2 Voltron sets. Because I'm a big geek. No, you don't. Haha. Oh, dude, you're going to want that 2001 right, and put it right next to that Shining 4K that's coming out, man. Prince Valiant, the Space Sentinels, which actually is pretty cool. The Ghostbusters, the other Ghostbusters. The Ren and Stimpy show. It says uncut. Really, it's not uncut. Clerks, the animated series. And this one right here is one that a lot of you guys are probably going to know from your youth, and that is the Star Blazer series. Next up is some of the Treehouse collections, because my kids grew up with that stuff, so I grabbed some of those from when they were younger. I got some of the Pink Panther MGM sets. Then there's the Apple Dumpling Gang. There's Family Guy box sets there, and of course some American Dad. Oh, what did you say sorry for? I missed what you said. Was that about the 4K thing? 8K TVs, yes. I don't expect any 8K discs coming out. 8K TVs are going to be looking more towards getting streaming to look half decent, because 4K streaming is not as good as 4K discs, not even close. Now here's a bit of my Scooby-Doo collection. We got Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, Safari, So Good, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, what's the other one there? Scooby-Doo's Spookiest Hits, Scooby-Doo Laugh Olympics, Scooby-Doo Double Feature, uh, Scooby-Doo's Moon Monster Madness, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, Scooby-Doo and Loch Ness Monster, Scooby-Doo Where's My Mummy, Scooby-Doo Samurai Sword, Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, What's New Scooby-Doo, Aloha Scooby-Doo, that one's actually pretty good, Scooby-Doo and the Fantasaurus, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo series, I actually like Scrappy-Doo, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo and the Sea Monsters, Scooby-Doo and the Robots, Scooby-Doo and Blue meets Mask of Blue Falcon, Scooby-Doo Camp Scare, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, Volumes 1 and 2, Big Top Scooby, Scooby's Mask of the Blue Falcon. Hey, I got two of those. Pup Named Scooby-Doo, Richie Rich Scooby-Doo Hour, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the beginning. I actually like that series. And then there's the Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation. That was a cool find, actually. Not a great show, but a cool find. Charlotte Web, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke. That's the Star Wars Ewok double feature. I'm actually pretty proud of having that one. Lucky Luke, Daisy Town, Celebrating Mickey. That's actually a really good one. The Justice League, Volumes 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. War. Les Triplets de Belleville. Journey 2, Paddington, Tangled, Peabody and Sherman, Batman the Dark Knight. That's the complete one, so you don't need to buy two of them. The Muppets, The Three Musketeers, The Dark Crystal Labyrinth, Ratatouille, Batman Gotham Knights, Monsters Inc., Home Alone, Bambi 2, Aladdin. All right, now going into the Blu-ray stuff. Tell you what, I'm going to look at your 4K comments afterwards and 8K stuff, and then I'll give a comment on them when I get there. Because I do have stuff to say about that stuff. Wall-E, Aristocrats, Pete's Dragon, Alice in Wonderland, The Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, Winnie the Pooh, Aladdin, Jungle Book, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Cinderella, Pinocchio, Little Mermaid, Lady and the Tramp, Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, Fantasia 2000, Rescuers Down Under, the Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. Next up are some of the Studio Ghiblis, like Howl's Moving Castle, Whisper in the Night, Ponyo. There's Princess and the Frog, Frozen, Let It Go, Monsters Inc., I think Narnia, I think that's Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Enchanted, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. I watch that every Halloween. Little Mermaid, The Great Mouse Detective. And then there's some of these cool little like Disney volumes, like Making the Beanstalk, Three Little Pigs, Prince and the Pauper. Then we have some DVDs here: Cinderella, Mary Poppins, Oliver and Company. That's Lobo, the Adventure of Lobo. That's actually a Disney exclusive. Next up is The Parent Trap. I like these big box editions here. And Robin Hood again. I got multiple editions of that one. Corpse Bride, Despicable Me with the 3 mini movies. See, I'm really into the classic Disney stuff. That's my favorite era of it, right? Tintin, which I think is underrated actually as an animated cartoon. Coraline, Ice Age, made this because it's got hair of Tintin. And you asked about it, so here you go. This is my Beatles Yellow Submarine set that I got. What's neat about this one is, I'll tell you what, I'll open it up, is that this set right here, and when you take it out, there's this booklet, then there's these cells of all the different characters. Okay. There's George, and there's like a sticker thing there with the blue meanies and stuff. So that's my Yellow Submarine set. I think this one is from originally from the UK or Australia, one of those places. But I actually bought out a guy's entire collection, and this was one of the movies that was there. where does this go? I'll put us over here. So where were we at? Okay, so sorry about that. So next up is SpongeBob SquarePants, Spirited Away, Johnny and Dookie, Saving Mr. Banks, Tron, Black Cauldron, Sleeping Beauty, 50th Anniversary Edition, Kung Fu Panda, Mickey Mouse Season 1, and Dumbo. And down at the bottom here, oh, I loved heavy metal. I grew up with heavy metal. So I grew up with the book. I like the movie was fun too, but I liked the magazine. Now we got the Mutant Ninja Turtles set there, the Family Trilogy. Pippi in the South Seas, actually saw it in theater. They actually reshowed it in theater. Astro Boy, Blondie, there's some different stuff here. Shaggy Dog. This one here is, I think, is that? Yeah, the Treasure Island Zorro set. Animated stuff. Perfect Blue with such a real, that was put out, I think, by Shout Factory recently, or Scream Factory, or Scream Factory, one of it. Really good. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's the computer wore tennis shoes. Of course, that's a very young Kurt Russell right there. Is Tron, the Shaggy Dog. This is the original. With Fred McMurray. Actually, it includes two versions. So this original and a color version that was done as well. So here we got Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, the Jimmy Neutron one. This is some more Smurfy Tales. This is Undergrads here. Undergrads. Bloody hell. This is a Betty Boop DVD. I actually have that all on Blu-ray, so I got the DVD put down here. Care Bears, the complete series. Ant and the Aardvark, because I've got that on Blu-ray as well. Peanuts 1960s collection. Over here is Ultraman Series 1 Volume 2. I have not been able to find Series 1 ever. Then there is the, what are these? The pup named Scooby-Doo. The Baby Looney Tunes. And the Critic, because I really like the Critic. So let's go over and talk about some 4K, 8K stuff before we go on any further. Of course, up here we got the Batman 60s series, the Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond. We got Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man complete series, Lord Byron. What else do we got here? After School Specials, Wings, and Have Gun Will Travel Season 1. So you can't say it doesn't get eclectic here. So, do you have the 70s Live? I wish I did, man. Nicholas Hammond version you're talking about. But no, I do not. So let me open up the, it's going to be YouTube here, and see the comments you guys were making that I didn't get a chance to see. Look at that, see? I hear myself. I had to turn myself down. You like the Critic? Right on. So, I'm looking at your 8K and 4K comments there. See what I can find out. Okay. My thoughts on that. Are there 8K TVs coming out? Yes, they're already made. They're made, they're tested, they're done. Just like 4K TVs, they're going to be a high price range when they come out, and they're going to get down lower. Let's be honest, 4K TVs are extremely cheap right now to buy. Almost every TV that I see it around, it's no longer just a 1080p. 4K is pretty much becoming the industry standard. So 4K, like hardware, is doing what Blu-ray could never really do, and that's supplement the previous generation. If you've been around since the VHS era and stuff like that, you know that DVD eventually kind of like took completely over from VHS. VHS, you see them every once in a while, but it's kind of like a special thing. It's a collector's edition. type of thing. DVD completely took over from VHS. When Blu-ray was introduced, it was introduced against HD DVD. There was a format war between Sony and Toshiba, but they had planned for Blu-ray to, the same as VHS, completely take over from uh, from DVD. That didn't happen. People have put together way too big a collection. Hey, Stephanie, you're doing collection reorganizing? Looking at this, Steph, one thing I realize is I have to do collection reorganizing. But we're talking formats here because I'm getting asked a lot of questions about this stuff. Yeah, so Brian, think about back in the day, there was Betamax and there was VHS. So during that time period, Sony put all their money, right? Betamax is Sony. That was their thing. They put like a lot of money and time and effort into Betamax. It was the superior like picture quality, but there were smaller tapes and they were more expensive. You couldn't record as much on them. You could on VHS, and eventually they would do like different speeds too, like SP, SLP, EP, that type of thing. So at the end of the day, Sony lost out. Sony lost out big time, and VHS became the standard. Was the quality as good? No, but everybody had it. It was easy to find. It was easy to buy. When it came time again to like get up to, then DVDs came. So that was across the board. Everybody was doing DVDs. So when the next generation of that came up, it was going to be HD DVD, which would be Toshiba, and there was Blu-rays, which was Sony. Sony still had a bad taste in their mouth from losing the format wars before. They were not going to lose against Blu-ray and DVD. So basically, hey, Trini, what happened is Sony went all in. Now, Sony already had something going for it in the right out of the gate because Sony owned the studio. Sony owned Columbia. So they had that. And companies kind of either stayed neutral for a bit or they went on one side or the other. Eventually, however, Blu-ray did win out, and one of the big reasons for that is, well, it's a system that a lot of people had, and that was the PS3. The PS3 was sold with a Blu-ray player included in it, and it was sold, even the more expensive PS3s were sold at a significant loss in order for Sony to ensure that more people had Blu-ray players in their homes than HD DVD players. Like, Toshiba partnered with Microsoft with the Xbox 360. However, the Xbox 360's HD DVD drive was an add-on that you had to buy separately. When you got any PlayStation 3 you got, no matter which version, that had a Blu-ray player inside of it. And oftentimes when you bought your PlayStation originally, it had like a copy of usually like Spider-Man or something like that, come with it. So you got to see Blu-ray. That's where the war thing came there. Now, Blu-ray was meant to supplement, to take over the place of DVD. It didn't. DVD is still very popular, as you can see. Not all movies come out on Blu-ray. If you look at things like Severn's Intervision label, or the Peakorama, or the Driving Collection from Vinegar Syndrome, those are like some DVD labels that are still pretty popular and pretty well regarded. Now, so 4K came around. 4K is meant to I don't think so, actually. Can you play different regions? I think I tried that. On mine it didn't work. I don't know if there's a hack for that, but it didn't work with mine because I bought a PlayStation 3 thinking I could do that, but I ended up having to buy like a region-free DVD player. Now maybe there's a hack or a way around it that I don't know. Like I know there were certain ones like you could like if you could get it past the menu, like it would play, but it wouldn't work with all like region, with all of the all region like Blu-rays. That's the thing, right? Now it was easy when it came to DVDs because you could just like put that into your computer, or like most DVD players were easy to region hack. Anyway, so when it comes to 4K, now 4K is the first format that is completely region free. So if you were to buy a 4K disc from the UK or from Japan or anywhere like that, that 4K disc that you get, you can put that into any 4K player that's going to play. Now, that being said, the Blu-ray that's there, if you don't have like a region-free player, that Blu-ray is not going to play on that on your player. You got to have a region-free player for that. But the 4K disc itself, the one that's in 4K, all 4K discs are region-free, which makes them kind of like more interesting for people like collectors like me. Like, say I want to go out and I want to pick up like one of these like really cool John Carpenter sets from the UK. Nothing stops me from doing that because, well, even if I wasn't region free, the 4K discs are region free. Now, as for the 8K televisions that are coming out, that's obviously the next thing. Does that mean that there's going to be 8K discs coming out anytime in the near future? No, probably not. Probably not for like a long, long time if they ever come. 8K with the television, what it's looking for. The thing is, even if you got like a 4K TV right now, and you're watching like Netflix, for instance, say you're watching like the Netflix, like you're streaming some 4K content, it's not going to look as good or sound as good as it does if you got an actual 4K disc. It's there is no comparison. That's pretty much the thing right now. Now the thing is with the 8K, with the kind of with the processing and the ability for that, then it's going to be a lot easier with the because 8K TVs are going to be bigger for one, but 8K TVs are going to be like situated so that you can get look at your 4K stream 4K, and it'll look a lot closer to what you'd get on if you actually bought the disc. So in pushing streaming and making the quality of streaming better, then 8K TVs are going to come into consideration and there. So with the streaming and with gaming is where you're going to look at in 8K TVs. I wouldn't expect to see 8K discs come out anytime soon. 8K channels, 8K streaming stuff, 4K streaming stuff that works with 8K, yes. But 8K, is it going to jump 4K to 8K disc anytime in the near future? No, because let's be honest, Blu-ray hasn't completely gotten over for some people yet. 4K has gotten over even for less people. 4K is the laser disc of today. It's for like collectors. It's for cinephiles. That's the thing. There's the mistake that people make. People look at 4K and they go into the science of, well, the naked eye can only see these many pixels and stuff like that. But that's not exactly what it is. When you're looking at 4K, you're not looking at it, and you're not just thinking, oh, well, this is the crystal clarity, the resolution. 4K, for instance, has a much higher color gamut. So colors are going to be, you're going to see colors and shades of colors that you cannot see on Blu-ray. That's that's a given. People mistake the science behind 4K and think that, okay, this is how it is. I'm not going to see any better. No, that's not true. Also, hearing wise, the sound is going to be better. When you're looking at 4K stuff, you're not just looking at resolution. You should never be looking at just resolution for 4K or 8K. You should be looking into what you're going to get color wise, what you're going to get sound wise, and again, yes, you will see more on a bigger television. That's the thing, and you will see more with optimized seating. 8K is supposed to take care of that, so you're not going to need like optimized seating. So you can go from like either here or way back there, and you're going to get that same clarity. And it's not about seeing it like kind of crystal clear. Exactly, Trini. It's all about the color and the contrast. It's all about the sound. People go like, this is the thing I can see. Yes, you can. It looks fantastic, and it doesn't look fantastic because, obviously there's more pixels. That's great. But is there a difference, like from Blu-ray to 4K? Yes, there is a difference. Scalder has that. The cool thing about 8Ks, and it was one of the tech channels I was looking at, and they're pretty strict when it comes to this stuff, is that he was looking at an 8K, I think it might have been a Sony, and he said that what he was looking at, what he was using, it was the same look and technology, for instance, that say Nolan or someone would look at when they're filming their movies, when they're basically doing their films, when they're editing their films. The quality is that, it's gonna be that kind of crystal clear. But yes, will 8K be worth it? I do think it'll be worth it. I haven't studied up enough on it yet to give you more than just a cursory answer. So that's the truth. But is 4K like worth it over Blu-ray? If you got the bones to do it, yes, it is. You will notice a difference. Is there a difference between watching like Halloween or It or a movie like that in 4K or Christine? Yes, yes, there is. Anybody that tells you there's not, they be lying to you. I'm telling you that right now, they're lying to you. And some people just don't want to admit it. Now, those exactly Blu-ray to DVD. Yeah, exactly. But that's the same thing, though, Trini. That's the same thing with Blu-ray. Some Blu-rays are look great. Not all Blu-rays look great. When it comes to any medium, it always is going to depend upon one thing, one important thing: the people that are doing the master. If a good master is being done, whether it's being done on Blu-ray or DVD or Laserdisc or CED or VHS or 4K or whatever, it really depends on how well they put that together. Well, yeah, okay, 14.99 for Alien. Yes, I'm going to say that's worth it. Is it really? Haven't seen the new Hannibal. I don't even think I got Hannibal on Blu-ray. So yeah, that's going to be an easy buy for me. My some of my favorites. 2001 looked amazing in 4K. That stood out. John Wick. John Wick 3 is coming out right now. Oh yeah, John Wick. I have like a. I've never checked Capaholics actually. See now that's the killer. I love 3D. Now that being said, I've got like a 3D TV up in my bedroom, 55-inch 3D TV. So not nothing big, just a 55-inch one in the bedroom, and I got a 4K TV downstairs. Now when we move, I'll probably take my 3D TV with me, and I'll probably buy a new 4K TV because it's harder to find a 3D TV nowadays, and I do have a lot of 3D releases. Now, that being said, all I have to do, if it's just me watching the 3D, all I got to do is put it into my PlayStation 4, slip on my PSVR headset, and see the best looking 3D that I can, because PSVR, 3D, that goes together really well. Now, Scott, I got to ask you a question. You seem like you're more of a techie guy, more so than me right now. So, OLED versus QLED. I don't have that good of a soundbar yet, Drax. I got a soundbar and I'm excited about that. I can hear sounds, and actually it's pretty good. It's a Sonos, but it's not a Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos like that's that is the top of the line. That's my next purchase when it comes to that. Burn-in. I always yeah, that's the thing. Burn-in issues. That's well, I play games too, right? So that's going to be like a difference maker with when it comes to me. I'm checking you guys' comments here because I can't see everything. If you watch films in any form, at least when you start watching them, just watching them is good anyways because at least you're watching them. I definitely yeah. Any way you can watch films, I do think owning them physically is the best way. That way you own the film. You're sure you got it. But obviously, you can't afford everything all the time. That's where help some streaming services helps to when you're waiting or like when you're trying to save up. That's all that can help out, like the Criterion Channel. That's the one. If there's any streaming service that I can recommend, like off the hand right now, to supplement, like and libraries are fantastic places. Enough people don't like take advantage of libraries. And the library in Halifax, for instance, has a really great section of DVDs and Blu-rays. They got everything. They got all kinds of Criterions there. Like you got some cool Doctor Who stuff, just some really cool stuff. My favorite streaming service right now is the Criterion service. I've become less and less enamored with Netflix every day, but I keep it because like my my better half, she watches like stuff like that. I see a few of the free ones like on my Amazon Fire Stick and on my what's it called? What's that other stick I got, guys? You know the one. It's Roku, and the Roku stick that I got, and the Apple TV that I got. So I've got myself like covered there, but still, I honestly more times than not I will come down here, and I will pick up a movie. I'm more of a physical media guy. If I really want to see something that I can't get and I can't afford, then I'll watch the Criterion until I can get it. Some of them are like you can't find as readily. And the other night, like when I went to Halifax, for instance, I watched White Heat, and I got that movie, but I actually watched the streaming one of it. Shudder I really like too. If you're a horror fan, Shudder is like it's definitely one of the ones to check out. Now I do think like as far as like those streaming sticks and stuff like that go, Roku is actually really good. People don't give that one enough credit. There's a lot of like kind of these independent channels where you're going to see a lot of like, you guys know I like Z grade stuff, and Roku's got the hookup for Z grade horror and Z grade films. The stuff that you find on there, stuff that you never heard of before, stuff that may have made it to a DVD in some local area but never made it anywhere else. Always cool to see that type of stuff. So I always look forward to seeing that. The only thing that would get me on VPN again is if it would work for Hulu. Because back in the day, back when I lived in Newfoundland, I had a VPN, and I may have had Hulu. I'm not saying, and it was the bomb, man. I loved it. But went out of town for like a month or so. Came back, and then I'd forgotten to, because I changed my bank accounts, and I forgot to keep my Hulu going, but I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get it back with the VPN thing. Cody's interesting. Cody is problematic. There's always new packages and stuff coming. You know the way Cody works, guys. But it's great if you want to see like kind of like television, like especially television from like foreign countries. Kodi would be something that I would use to basically show my better half, like it was like Moroccan television or something like that type of thing. Because those packages you don't find them on regular cable packages. I'm kind of wondering where to go with the movie tour, library tour from here. But I'm very tired. Oh, really? See, I remember there's a guy. He was such a good reviewer for 4K. Uh, he did like Brass Tacks. There's the reviewer on it was on YouTube, but he doesn't do very much anymore. I'm not sure. Like he used to have like did music and stuff apparently too, and that may be why he's not doing 4K reviews anymore. But there's a 4K reviewer from the UK called Brass Tacks, and he had like this like kind of monkey doll, like kind of like a Kong tax that he used to use for some of his videos, and he's very entertaining. And he would like really gonna kind of go in depth with the 4K releases. He's one of the people that I'd go to, and I could trust him when it came to if it was a 4K release worth picking up. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of him, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Access Dolby Atmos from the Xbox One with headphones. No, Brass Tacks is a YouTuber. Maybe he's got a podcast. I really don't know. But he did he doesn't do them anymore. I don't think. I think he stopped. At least I haven't seen him in a long time. But when we started buying 4K releases, one of the things we did, we went online to see to get the best reviewers for 4K. We wanted to make sure we had the best 4K. We didn't want to mess up and get okay, this is just an okay transfer. My favorite animated movie. That's a really good question, Dave Cadana, especially for tonight. My favorite animated movie. Ooh, let me think. I got to categorize it though. If it's Disney, it's Aristocats. I just like that one. I know it's not anybody else's favorite, but if it's Disney, if it's just like a Disney one, like a classic Disney, it's Aristocats. If it's but that's what comes to mind. The Shining is going to be awesome on 4K. I own 2001. Oh, well, actually, I don't. My better half owns 2001 because that's one of her favorite films. My dad gave her that for Christmas. The 4K of 2001, by the way, if you get the big edition, it's awesome. It's awesome anyway. If you've recently gotten 4K, hey, Andy, how's it going? If you've recently gotten a 4K, yeah, make sure 2001 is one of the discs that you pick up. It's really good. And in October, if enough people weren't already going into 4K, see, a lot of people came into 4K around the time Christopher Nolan said he was going to put them out. But yeah, The Shining is coming out in October, and I don't think there's anybody that's a horror fan that's got a 4K system that's not going to have that. That looks incredible. And I've heard that that apparently they showed the 4K transfer in theater, and it looked really, really good. So that's how people were kind of knew it was coming when they found out that there was a 4K transfer of The Shining that was done, and that it was showing in theater. People were pretty sure around then that, yeah, there's one coming out, and it's been officially announced. So now there was a couple of announcements from Arrow Academy today. I'm not sure who. One of them was the Being John Malkovich was one of the movies that was announced, and there was an Asian cinema one that was announced as well that I can't remember the name of. I do remember the name of Being John Malkovich though. Alice in Wonderland is a cool trivia film. The Incredibles is still the best version of Fantastic Four that they've done so far. Hopefully that's going to change, though. For my comic book brethren there, you probably know this by now, but all X-Men comics are being canceled. Uncanny X-Men, the X-Men, all that type of stuff, they're all being canceled. Going off the grid. The only two X-Men titles that are going to be out over the next 6 months or so, I think it is, are two titles that are being done by Jonathan Hickman. Now, anybody that reads comics, especially more of the modern comics, knows who Jonathan Hickman is. They know about Secret Wars and and stuff that he's done around there. Now, getting Jonathan Hickman, who was a prolific comic writer, back in the comics actually, at all was a huge deal for Marvel. Getting him to spearhead X-Men and pretty much decide the fate and future of X-Men was huge as well. Basically, he went in. He said, "I'll do two X-Men titles," but he said, "I want you to cancel all the other titles. We're going to kind of do a clean sweep, right?" So that's what he's doing. And what's really interesting about that, what's interesting for you guys, for people that watch the films, for instance, is that this is being done and coming into play, and it should really his whole take on it and where they're going forward from that should really come to play in the comics around the same time that they'd be able to maybe do something in the cinematic universe. So it's more than likely the Jonathan Hickman's take on the X-Men and where it goes from there that you're going to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you want to see, what you want to get an idea of what's going to happen with the X-Men in the Marvel Universe when it comes to films, look towards what Jonathan Hickman's doing. It's not a certainty, but I'd bet on it. I see it this way when it comes to like the buying and rebuying. This is basically it. You can say, like, okay, well, I don't want to, I got stuff. I don't want to have the rebuy movies like in 4K that I bought like on Blu-ray or something like that. But the truth of the matter is, if it's a movie that you want, and there's something on that release that you want, something different, something new, you're going to buy it because you can buy Valentine, for instance, on DVD. You can buy, some movies on Blu-ray, and then you can go ahead and Screen Factory can announce an edition with special features and a new cover, and you know what happens? Then people buy that new edition, and they don't say, well, there's already a Blu-ray out, so maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not going to buy this one. No, I have like several movies on DVD with pretty decent prints, but did I go out and buy the Screen Factory editions of them as well, and some of the Arrow editions? Yeah, I did, because they're ones that I knew that I wanted. So there's always going to be that, do I need to rebuy? No, nobody has to rebuy anything. No matter, if you up the format or not, nobody has to. You can say, okay, I'm going to get a 4K system, and I'm just going to buy movies from here on out that I don't have, and go with that. And perfectly fantastic. You could say, okay, I'm sick and tired of going to the theater. I want to have theater quality picture in my house and theater quality sound and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 4K system. I'm going to like invest in that, and then I'm not going to go to. I'm just going to buy the 4K disc when it comes out, rather than go to the theater and see the movie for cheaper in my own home without annoying people around me. That was one of the factors with my better half. She's like, there's certain times I just don't want to go to the theater, but I do want that experience, and 4K gives that experience overall. So that was one of the deciding factors, because I live in a household of 2 people, and if one of these people does not agree, that upgrade does not happen. So that's something that we did together. She was actually the forerunner when it came to that, because she's a scientist. She's pretty forward thinking. I'm just a average guy. I don't have the smarts that she got. Yes, that's the thing, but you don't have to. Nobody has to. But with certain ones, you're going to want to. Like if you got a 4K, you got a 4K with a projector, you said, with 3D in it. So you got like the best of all the worlds. So, and those things don't come cheap. Those, so you put some money into that, and you obviously got a really. I've seen your library. It's incredible. But that's the thing. You've got the setup. Like obviously you're not going to buy everything. You're not going to get movies that you already got. Now there's certain ones I got that basically, I'm not going to lie to you, because they were cheap. I know, for instance, that Terminator 2 is not the greatest 4K. Not at all. I hear it's fairly waxy. But it was $5. So I bought that. The cool thing, Trini, is when it gets to the point when you don't have to choose between 4K or 3D. When it shouldn't be a choice. When one should not take out the other. And I think that's what we're going to get come to play with 8K, hopefully. You never double dip with different packaging? Never? See, I'm going to be completely honest. I do. Uh, but it's got to be something that I really want. Like, I don't just grab, like, I don't grab a movie that's on Blu-ray and then buy it again. If the packaging's really, like, for instance, look over there. I'm not sure if you can see it. So see right there? That is the Breakfast Club. That's the VHS packaging of the Breakfast Club. Now, I don't have any other version of the Breakfast Club except for like an old DVD of it. That being said, there's also a VHS kind of Blu-ray packaging of Jaws that's out there. I love Jaws. And I have the Blu-ray of Jaws. I got a really nice Blu-ray of Jaws, actually. A really good special edition Blu-ray of Jaws. Will I eventually, if I see it around, buy the Jaws VHS packaging because it's got that kind of cool retro packaging? Yes. Yes, I will, because it's very cheap. Like, actually super cheap. Speaking of retro packaging, I don't have the Criterion Breakfast Club. See, that's right now is the only version of Breakfast Club that's in my collection. I want to get it, though, because I'm a huge fan of it. New Kids is coming out on Blu-ray from Mill Creek. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have talked quite a bit since they've announced Tough Turf, and even a little bit before they announced Tough Turf, that I really wanted to see New Kids come out on Blu-ray. And as you know, I also said that I wanted to see like a bunch of other movies come out on Blu-ray, and so far, as I say them, they're all coming out. And that's the thing. So I have a superpower now, I think, of like, I announce what movies I want to see come out, and all of a sudden, they come out. Mill Creek has come a long way, Dekatana. When Mill Creek came out first, they would put together these like 25, 50, 20 packs. It didn't matter what the quality was; they just like churn it out there. Now Mill Creek has kind of become this waypoint where a lot of companies are putting like their decent transferred stuff over to Mill Creek. So Mill Creek's getting stuff that's already been like remastered, that's already been like redone, and so it makes it really cheap and easy for them to get them, because companies, rather than putting them out through their own label or doing all these archives or stuff like that, there's certain titles that they don't want to work with, or they just don't don't want to bother with. So Mill Creek ends up with them. A lot of the TV shows now have come out on Blu-ray from Mill Creek. When I started buying the 50 horror sci-fi movie packs from Mill Creek, I never thought, yeah, that's the guys that are going to put Miami Vice or Airwolf. No, not in a million years would I have thought that I was going to see like New Kids or Miami Vice or any of that come out from Mill Creek. Never. Or William Castle stuff. I thought you'd never see that come from Mill Creek. I was completely wrong. They actually were one of the companies that didn't like kind of fall on the wayside, like the BFIs or the other companies like that. They actually kind of went ahead and they like, as casual, like movie viewing kind of became like multimedia stuff kind of dwindled down for people. They took up the mantle, and they really went in there. They made some great deals with companies to get a lot of stuff out there. I'll definitely highlight in my next video. Maybe I'll do the Mill Creek portion of the video, because that's actually my next section that I'm going to be going to. I could probably do that tonight, but I'm probably going to make this one of my short videos. I'm kind of tired, and I do want to play around with the computer a bit tonight. I have a new computer, so that's going to be fun. VHS tapes with a fuzzy top on a movie. Oh, you mean when I had that like thing and you tried to like try to use the tuning to get it like to get it to go away? You could always tell what scenes it were. There are always scenes that people were like really into. Any nude scene on a film. If you bought Porky's or you bought like a horror film, basically, if there was a nude scene or a gore scene, then that's when the tracking would get bad, because there'd be people that would go and they'd buy it, like they'd rent it, teenagers, kids, whatever, and all of a sudden there's a nude scene, there's boobs in this scene, rewind, watch, rewind, watch, rewind, watch. Hell, there's a whole website out there to tell you exactly where nudity occurs in films. That's the thing. That's the website. Somebody made a big career off of that. Uh, but uh, but yeah, there's a charm to it. I mean, obviously, it's something that was frustrating, something that drove me up the wall. But I still collect VHS to this day. I still have a lot of VHS in my collection. I got VHS. I got Laserdisc. I was looking for the movie Masquerade for a long time. I couldn't find it on DVD around here. I found it on Laserdisc. I really like that film. It's a Rob Lowe film, actually. It's kind of a thriller. So I haven't watched it in years, but I gotta check that one out. Hey, Sasha. We were talking, I guess, about the controversy of like 4K and 8K and stuff. But yeah, if there is a release that I can definitely like 110%, here we go. Recommend. This is the 4K release for 2001. This came into Walmart. It was under $30 to pick up. It was around 20-ish at the time. It is a fantastic release and a great transfer. This is the best that it's ever looked. This specific one had these here cards on the inside as well. These kind of collector cards, which I think are actually really cool. And a booklet and just a bunch of different stuff. So if you can find this edition, definitely go for it. As you can see, when it is with any new medium, you start off the modest collection. I got like 40 something. 4K is not very many. But yeah, I've heard of Alpha Video. Where's the correlation though between books and 4K 4K on of 2001? But actually, Alpha put out like, they didn't have the best transfers, but Alpha put out some stuff that was really fun. And kind of like you mentioned before, sometimes even if the quality's kind of crappy, if the movie's fun and you want to watch it, you're going to grab it anyway. Alpha was like that. Alpha had some horrible transfers, but they had some of those beautiful covers, most colorful covers, like really well done. Now, the company that does Alpha Video, actually, I think they're behind Oldies as well. Exactly. They put out stuff that nobody else does. That's the thing. And they put it for like super cheap. I don't think I've ever paid over $3 for an Alpha release. Yeah, but the thing is that you're just saying that, Ryan, because that's a 4K release. If that was like a Blu-ray release and it had like postcards and stuff of there and like booklets and stuff, you'd be all over it. Come on, you're being biased towards that because of the format. Because if that was a Criterion release, like you'd be like this Criterion release and it's got cards and stuff like that. You would. Think about it. Be honest with yourself. Show you an Alpha release? Sure, I got a few of them right down here. So this is, these are probably some movies you've never heard of, but Identity Unknown. I like film noirs and thrillers and stuff, so. Black Dragons. Streets of New York. Now, some covers are better than others. Some of the covers are really colorful and really well done. Dick Tracy's Dilemma. You are, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong at all with being a Criterion junkie. They put out some great stuff. The Last Man on Earth. and John Garfield, and They Made Me a Criminal with the Dead End Kids. So I think I paid maybe $3 for one of these. Most of these I paid like $1, sometimes less. Alpha Video, I'm not sure if they're the same company or not. I think they might be. Oldies.com, either the bot Alpha Video or the R Alpha Video, but you can get like a really cheap Alpha Video over at Oldies.com. Sometimes he'll have sales and stuff like that. And go to Oldies.com, man. That's where I got that's where this stuff, you see this stuff at. I'm not sure I think Oldies.com is American, isn't it? I didn't think it was Canadian. Maybe it is, but I thought Oldies.com was American, because that's where you get these at. You'll find like tons of these on Oldies.com. And for cheap too, like for dirt cheap. Some for like 50 cents each and stuff like that. Angels with Dirty Faces is one of my favorite movies, guys. Let's say a prayer. Okay. Hold on a sec. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me good? Here we go. Okay, so Oldies.com is where you find your alpha stuff. That's where I do anyway. Or at a lot of flea markets. I find a lot of flea markets. Carnival Souls and the Sadist. The Sadist is really cool. I wish I had that one, actually. That's, God, what's his name? Kind of like a doughy face guy. He was in Iga. Because his dad puts out Art Child Jr. That's what it is. Art Child Jr., right? That's probably his best movie, actually, The Sadist. Art Child Jr. was just one of those... I guess his dad or him wanted to be kind of Elvis-like. He did a few movies. The Sadist is definitely the one you got. That's his best film, by far. Iga's fun. Like, you've probably seen the Mystery Science Theater version of it, at least. That has Richard Kiel in it, or Kyle. Oh, you really met him? That's awesome, dude. I actually really liked The Sadist. But, like, that's his best. The other ones are cheesy fun. But The Sadist is by far his best film. That's a really cool guy to have met. That's like meeting Ed Wood or somebody like that. Like people that have that, like I would love to meet the guy that made Things, which is like in 1989, like Canadian, really, really bad Z-grade horror film. But it's so bad that it's unbelievably fun. And there's something always good to be said about unbelievably fun, right? Wow, you guys got quiet. It went from like super talking to super quiet. I forgot about Wild Guitar. Yes, please. I actually do appreciate when anybody hits the thumbs up. It does help out my channel a lot. And for people that are into the Twitterverse, that tweet out my videos, thank you. That's something that does bring a lot of views and a lot of eyes to my channel. But like when I tweet out my videos, that doesn't. But when people like tweet them out themselves or retweet them, that does bring people in. That can take like a video that's hovering around 100, 120 views and put it up to like 300 or so, which is it's not a lot, but for me it's nice. Sven Gulli, did you really? That is cool. The one I wanted to meet, the horror host, well, obviously I wanted to meet Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, but he's not around anymore, but Zachary. I always wanted to meet Zachary because he was just the cool guy, right? And he started out like he's a weatherman, but he needed somebody for a horror host. He did it. He did such a great job. If you've never seen Zachary, like look him up. Just incredible. Incredible. I I was a huge fan, and I remember there was like this kind of like clip tape, kind of like almost like a trailer, but more of a clip tape that he put out called Zacherle's Horrible Horrors. So whether like that's the thing, right? A lot of these guys, these horror hosts, they worked like either weatherman or they had some other like thing on like like they were doing something on the news. So it was easy like for a weatherman, for instance. Weathermen are usually people that people think kind of like sometimes kind of like, oh cool, was he nice? So, oh, you talked for hours, so it must have been nice. But yeah, the weatherman is usually the person that's really get more colorful on news, for instance. So I yeah no, so it's no surprise to see the weathermen are becoming we're becoming like horror hosts and stuff like that. They just have the personality. A lot of the weather people I knew, that's my first thing. That's what I originally did in school was journalism, and I'll I'll be honest with you. There were the journalists that you saw out in the field, and those were they were the now not everyone, but like a lot of them were the kind of like the harder workers. They're a lot of drinking would have to go on because they do a ton of stuff. I have nothing but respect for like for actual journalists to do actual work. Now the people usually in front of the camera, those what was what we call the face, and what that usually meant is they weren't always the person that either they got their years in and like they were like a Walter Cronkite or something like that that were like really good journalists and now they're doing desk duty. But in more recent years and like when I was younger anyway, basically what it was like a face was somebody that was basically a face. They weren't like they weren't always the best journalists, but they could read it in front of the camera and kind of make it sound at least like they knew what they were talking about. But a lot of times faces didn't. Yeah, a little behind the scenes. Um, there's a lot of hard workers and behind behind journalism when it comes to the guys are actually like doing the doing the writing and going out in the field. Those people and risk their lives on such a on a daily basis. It's Ted Baxter, exactly like Ted Baxter. Versus Lou Grant. That is the perfect analogy. But drink about I have yet to find like a good like streaming like internet journalist per se. It's iffy. I mean, there are people out there that do some decent stuff, and there are people out there that really subvert what's being done. And I'm not at all going to get into politics. I'm just going to say that as somebody that studied journalism, that was one of the things that I did. I went to school for it. It's in my blood. Um, yeah, you do have to have the skill set for that. There is a skill set. There is stuff that has to be learned, but it is something that's in your that is that you bleed out. Not everybody can do it, and sometimes it's all faces, like Fox News. When there's no journalism, none at all. No research, no nothing, man. That's the killer. That's what makes it so hard when it comes to like cutting the cable. We would not have cable at all, to be completely honest with you, but we have to because our internet and phone package is cheaper with cable included than it would be without the cable. So there's no like obviously I don't need cable to see any of that stuff. And when most TV shows, honestly, I buy them anyway. I do. Yeah, the thing I have a cable connection because I have to have a cable connection because like most people, it's just cheaper. Or like because I have a good internet package, and the good internet package comes included with cable. Do I watch it a lot? No. Uh, I watched a bit of the like the newer stuff. We'll watch some of the Game of Thrones that's been going on. I don't actually. I don't remember 100% weird. Though speaking of TNT, anybody that likes wrestling is going to be super stoked because AEW, All Elite Wrestling is coming to TNT. So for the first time in, my God, in years, in years, like over a decade, uh, wrestling is going to be on TNT. That's amazing. Uh, I remember WCW Nitro. I grew up with that WCW Nitro and WWE, kind of going on, going against each other. And now there is an actual competition coming up for WWE, and it's never been more needed. I remember Monster Vision. Monster Vision. That's Joe Bob Briggs. That one I do remember. Uh, was it called 100% Weird before? Creature Features. There was one that I watched. I cannot remember the name of the host, but I used to watch it, and I think it was probably from a Bangor station, because we got a lot of stations from Bangor, Maine. It would come on like on Saturdays, and it would be a lot of the older stuff, like a lot of Universal, and some of the like Hammer stuff, some stuff like that. Same show. I did not know that actually. Uh, I'm Canadian. We didn't get as much of that stuff as like you did over there. I didn't get as much of the Joe Bob stuff as you guys got. So I didn't grow up on Joe Bob in the same way that a lot of people did. Now people like Steph and that would grow up with like with basically with Joe Bob Briggs, and then that was kind of like their big thing. So now with like Kubrick, with him being on Shutter, that's been a huge deal for a lot, and for me too, because it brings back the host, and I really like that. I loved Elvira. I liked what she did. There's a few of them that I really enjoyed. I like Zachary. Like again, like that was one of the ones that I knew because I would see like tapes of them. Like I didn't always get like the American channels or the American shows. So what would happen is like back in the day, VHS days, it was tape trading and like getting tapes sent to you. So I'd get like tapes of like Joe Bob Briggs Monster Vision and stuff like that, like sent to me. The movies would be cut to hell. Like Joe Bob Briggs would talk about it on the channel. He'd say, there would be like six breasts there and three beheadings and stuff, but you're not going to see him here because this is Turner. But he would always tell. He'd always give the countdown, right? I love that because that would make me. And there's the thing that like Joe Bob Briggs was really instrumental in getting me to get some films because I would get these tapes, like I get like these Monster Vision tapes and stuff like that, and I'd put them in, and he'd say, okay, so this would be here and this would be there, but it's not gonna be in this one because this is the TV edition, and they cut all that out, and that would make me say I need to go out and get that edition. I need to go out and get the one. I want to see those boobs. I want to see those beheadings. I want to see that stuff. Uh, so he would say it, and it did. It worked, man, because I was like, yes, uh, I want to see that. 70s house. I'll go check him out. But yeah, did anybody else do that? Like anybody else that grew up with Monster Vision ever do that? Now the thing that people forget about Joe Bob is that his Joe Bob Briggs' character, the man himself is extremely intelligent, and he studies. He doesn't just watch films. The guy knows films. The guy studies films, and it's so obvious in when you listen to him actually talk about it. Now, when he is playing the Joe Bob Briggs character, for instance, he's kind of a he plays into the Texan type thing. He plays into that and some of the basic stereotypes. But he's not. But he's not that. And sometimes he'll say things that seem kind of inappropriate, but it's within the construct of the character. It's not him himself. Some people have gotten upset with him, but he's like, don't take it so seriously. I'm playing a character here. He's an extremely intelligent guy. Was it really? I'm trying to think. I don't know what my first creature feature was. I really don't. Uh, I remember one of my first like horror films was. About my first creature feature, I don't. Not even remotely. I wish I could tell you. But yes, if you have not been watching the Last Drive-In on Shudder, I strongly recommend it. It's really fun. If you are one of the people that can see it live when it's coming on, then definitely check it out that way, because when he does a live show, he doesn't like let you know ahead of time what the movies are going to be, so you find out when you turn on the show on Shudder like what the film's going to be. That's kind of cool. And if they're like, even if they're ones that have already been on and you haven't seen them, you can go back and you can do the experience. You can say you want to take a weekend, watch some Last Drive-In, and just sit down and just take the whole day and just enjoy it with his introductions and like his conversation about it in between. And unlike when you watch the Monster Vision, this stuff, you can see the boobs, you can see the beheadings, they're all there. Oh, I'm getting a little bit burpy from that Crystal Pepsi, I think. Now, with that being said, in 86 minutes, which I think is a respectable time for this here video. Hopefully you enjoyed the animation station portion of my movie library tour. What is the next one going to be about? It's going to be a bit different, and it'll be a bit more eclectic. I haven't even gotten into the TV portion, library portion yet, in the secret room. We'll be doing that as well, by the way, throughout the series that I'm doing. And once all these are done, if you want it, I won't like be reading at every title at the time, but we will go through and we will do like just a complete overview of both of the entire rooms, like in one kind of fell swoop. I won't be reading everything up, but we'll be looking at everything, so you guys get like a real, because by that time we should have the Vinegar Syndrome sale already gone past, and I'll have my titles in as well, which we'll be able to talk about then. You're 200. As it keeps going, man, that's what it's going to be. And of course, this is going to, hopefully, this is going to change in a couple of years when I'm somewhere else, and then I'm doing a new movie library tour in another continent. So that's there's something right there. Something I look forward to. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's been a long, long night for me tonight. I am going to go, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to go get some tea, play with my new computer, my new tie. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to do some writing, actually. Maybe do a little bit of editing as well. I'm actually writing some stuff that hopefully eventually will get on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for such an animated, fantastic conversation about everything from like 4K to alpha video to like animation. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. I am Aaron. This is the Movie Library. You guys are the Movie Club. And as always, you guys are fantastic. Dekatana, Brian, Steph, everybody at their Scalder, all you guys, take care. If you can, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see these videos when they are going live. And if you can, tweet it out. That is one of the biggest favors that you can do for this channel. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I will see you soon.